Welcome to the John and Heidi Show podcast.
John and Heidi.
Here's John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. Hey, baby, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you doing?
Oh, fantastic. We got a guest coming up later in the program. Going to be visiting with Chef Donatella Arpaia. And we're going to be talking about some very cool things that you can do by incorporating vegetables into the mix when you're cooking. And
Okay.
Chef Arpaia has some really cool ideas on ways to make that a little bit easier. So that's cool. Also, take a listen to this. A study out of Finland suggests that men who regularly visit the sauna are less likely to develop dementia.
Really?
So I need to go to the sauna more often.
We have a sauna. We should use it.
We should.
We never do.
Well, I always forget. See, that's the problem. And researchers say that they've pinpointed a chemical with the potential to postpone aging. So postpone aging. Now, if they could just reverse it and make it go the other direction, that would be really good. It's a little too late for me to postpone it. And good news, Heidi. Starbucks says they're going to increase their locations in 2017 by 50%.
Oh, that's super.
Because, you can never find a Starbucks. Aren't they on like every corner in some towns? Coming up, we've got some special things happening today. We'll tell you all about that in a bit.
John and Heidi.
Today is a special day, Heidi. Do you know what today is?
What is today, John?
I thought you'd never ask. It's Wednesday, December the 28th. Today is Holy Innocents' Day.
Okay.
It is Endangered Species Act Day. And it is National Chocolate Day. Which
It
one of
feels like
those?
that comes up a lot.
Well, I think that there's more than one.
There must be.
Which one do you
because-
think we're going to celebrate? A chocolate dipped endangered species? Probably not. But we'll have chocolate on something for sure. What were those things? How would you describe the things that I had during the movie last night? There were pretzels that were dipped in chocolate with, what would you call that?
Crushed candy canes.
Oh, man, that was good. Those, I suppose, are only available at Christmas time.
Probably, but you could make peppermint bark anytime you want, which is basically what it is. You could make them.
It was good. Heidi got them somewhere. Some special, super secret place, I think. So, coming up, we're going to talk about some crazy stuff. It's on the way on the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This is my favorite time of year. The lights, the fun parties, and the family get-togethers. Many of us have boxes of home videos capturing these memories. But sadly, these memories are fading away because the videotape was not the best format. My friend CJ has a business called Tape It Up Reproductions. They transfer your precious memories to a digital format with the option to enhance the audio and the video to make them look and sound better than ever. His website is tapingitup.com, or you can call or text 412-766-1679.
John and Heidi.
You know it's true because you heard it on the radio. Normally, tobacco is associated with causing cancer, but not curing cancer. But take a listen to this. Researchers at the Stanford University School of Medicine in California say a personalized vaccine made from tobacco plants could help cure cancer.
Really?
How crazy is that? The treatment, which would vaccinate cancer patients against their own tumor cells, is made using a new approach that turns genetically engineered tobacco plants into personalized vaccine factories. I think that's pretty crazy.
That is pretty crazy.
This weekend, over the Christmas weekend, I was on Facebook, like cruising through and checking stuff out, and there were two different stories that I read. One said that there was like some tropical rainforest fruit that was discovered to have an effect on like making the cancer cells go away. And then there's another one where they were exploding cancer cells, like injecting something. So I got a feeling that it'll be like during our lifetime that I think we're going to like cure cancer. I think that would be so absolutely amazing to see that happen. We've had, I bet everybody listening right now knows somebody who's had a struggle with that. So many wonderful people have, lost their battle with cancer. How great would it be to cure that? Wouldn't that be awesome?
It would be amazing.
I mean, think of the dumb studies we read all the time, things that they're doing to find out,
Well,
wasting their time on dumb stuff. If we could just focus some of that effort on, the things that really do matter.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
So, I'm really glad to hear this one's happening. Stanford University School of Medicine in California. Again, they one more thing where they're utilizing, and as weird as it sounds, tobacco to help fight cancer. Yeah, crazy. And it's true because you heard it on the radio.
John and Heidi.
The John and Heidi Show is brought to you in part by the Keystone Treatment Center.
This is your brain, and this is your brain on drugs. We share silly stories here on the program, but addiction is no joke. If you or someone you know suffers with an addiction to drugs or alcohol, make today the day you seek help.
Call toll-free 844-204-1055.
That's a toll-free number. Again,
844-204-1055.
And this is your brain on drugs. You know about the dangers of driving while intoxicated.
Absolutely.
How about texting while driving? That's bad.
Absolutely.
Talking on the phone while driving. Recent study claims that driving while daydreaming could be even more dangerous than all of those. And this is clearly not the right place for me to read this story. I thought this had something to do with I just had the keyword intoxicated. Well, we'll finish now.
How would they
study
stop
released
this from happening?
by the Erie Insurance Company says driving while daydreaming could be 5 times more dangerous than driving and texting or talking on your phone. According to Erie's findings, 62% of all fatal distracted driving accidents in the United States are the result of the driver being, quote, lost in thought. By comparison, only 12% of distracted driving fatalities resulted from the driver using a mobile phone. So there you go. They're just saying keep your focus on the road.
Oh, absolutely.
And that is important, but, how do you police that? I mean, I don't know that there is a way.
You can't police that.
I don't think so. Anyway, that wasn't quite your brain on drugs. I saw the word intoxicated and used that story. Sorry, I kind of feel as though I ripped you off.
Show prep at its finest.
Yes, but we do have your moment of duh, and I guarantee you that's a good one. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Now your moment of duh. Police in Huntsville, Alabama arrested armed gang members after they were dumb enough to do the mannequin challenge holding their illegal weapons. Now, do you know what the mannequin challenge is?
Yes, I do.
You've seen these videos online?
Yes.
I think that it's silly, but
I
there
think
are
they're
people...
stupid, even if you're not a criminal. I think
there
they're
are people
stupid.
that have made some really cool... I saw one that was a police department that was really, really cool. Anyway, they posted this on Facebook back on November the 9th, garnered 4 million views. Madison County Sheriff's Office investigated it, and because it was sent to them numerous times, people saying, hey, check it out. 19 people, mostly armed, enacting a shootout. Police found an assault rifle, 2 handguns, a shotgun, packs of marijuana, an attack vest, and ammo in the home where the video was being taken. More arrests and charges may be forthcoming, so they've already gotten a whole bunch of them, and there's several more that could be going to jail because they were dumb enough to videotape themselves with a bunch of illegal stuff and then throw it online.
Wow.
Yeah. These folks are geniuses. Mm-hmm. We've got your scoop of the day on the way.
The Scoop of the Day is brought to you by Wells Blue Bunny. If you want delicious ice cream, be sure to look for the Blue Bunny. Sure to have your favorite flavors. Learn more at bluebunny.com.
Now your scoop of the day. Facebook users will be warned before sharing stories that have what they refer to now as fake news. The social media giant says they're working with fact-checking groups to identify bogus stories.
Yeah, did you hear who their
I
fact-checking
saw some
groups
of them, yeah.
are?
They're going to warn users if their story could be tied to fake news. Mm-hmm. But the problem is, who's policing this? Mm-hmm. And if the people that are policing it have one political slant, then they're only saying fake news is coming from the other side. And I think that's wrong.
This is going to be Facebook's downfall. I think
so too.
I think that people are going to say, I am not using this site anymore.
Yeah.
I will be one of them. If they try to police what I am posting on my page.
I had a friend that had his page shut down for about 3 days because they said he was posting bogus stories.
Yeah, if that happens to me, I won't go back on the page. Yeah. And I know many, many, many other people who feel the same way. So if they do this, if they follow through with this, it will be the downfall of their company.
Could be. Hey, do you use Advil or Tylenol for a headache? Do you use either of those?
I use Aleve.
Aleve? Hey, that wasn't even listed on the It says a new study finds that long-term use of painkillers can ruin your hearing.
What?
Huh? I said a long-term study. Wait, where are other people putting these? You're supposed to eat them, aren't you? Are they jamming them in their ear? I got a headache. I'm going to just put it right in here. That isn't going to work. Not at all. A new Russian TV reality show is going to drop. This is such a dumb idea. It's going to drop 30 contestants into the Siberian countryside for 9 months.
Oh, good Lord.
Yeah. The survivors will receive Seriously, it says survivors receive $1.5 million. This is a Russian reality TV show.
And if they die, The others just die?
Could be. Any and all despicable behavior towards your opponents is allowed, including physical harm.
Holy
so you can literally
cow.
beat the snot out of somebody else and leave them to die. And if you win, you get $1.5 million bucks. That just sounds like something like from the minds of some weird.
But if anybody who survives, why couldn't they all just live together in harmony for 9 months?
It says the survivor receives 1.5.
Oh, the survivor.
Yeah, so I said the
it's
survivors.
a fight to the death for one
I
person?
think so. It's a Russian reality show. Yeah. That is, you don't want to come in second place. I'm just saying. A wealthy businessman in India did something awesome. This could have actually been our good news for the day. But I put it here because I just think it's a cool story and we got some really good stuff for the good news. But a wealthy businessman in India chose to celebrate his daughter's wedding by using the money for her wedding to build 90 homes for the homeless instead. Both the bride...
How much was he going to spend on her
The
wedding?
bride and the groom were supportive of the man's decision and handed the keys to the homes to the new owners after the wedding. So they had a modest wedding. They had this, all this money they were going to spend on a wedding, and they were like, tell you what, how about you guys have a more modest wedding and we'll build a bunch of homes for homeless instead? 90 homes.
I love my kids, but not 90 homes worth for a wedding reception.
I'm just saying, I'd take you out for pizza or something, but I just don't think
That's one big cake.
Get everybody a Happy Meal. I just don't think we could afford the 90 homes. Maybe 90, cans of soda. I don't know. Hey, now there's a new study out claiming cereal and potatoes increase your risk of heart disease, while high-fat dairy products actually cut the risk of heart disease, believe it or not. It's kind of crazy. So cereal and potatoes are not good for you now?
First of all,
yeah,
we know potatoes are not good for us. This is not news. But I was at McDonald's the other day. Speaking of not good for you, I was at McDonald's and I ordered a peppermint mocha because I love their peppermint mochas. And she asked me if I wanted whole or skim milk. And I just looked at her and I said, I'm at McDonald's. I was like, why is that even an option? I don't even know why you're asking people that question.
Give me the whole.
I better take the skim to go with my Big Mac and French fries and apple pie.
So you're saying that potatoes aren't good for you. No. But take a listen to this. Some women at a bar in Russia took playing with their food to a new level in a mashed potato wrestling contest.
Oh, good Lord.
Participants grappled in a shallow inflatable children's pool filled with mashed potatoes. So there you go. And the winner got 1.5. No, wait, that was something else. 1.5 million. Remember that? That was also in Russia. So this was in Russia too. That's why I had that little thing there. Hey, sounds as though that didn't work. Coming up in a bit, we have a guest, and I believe my wife has taken the rest of the show off. Are you still there? You're here, right? Well, I guarantee you she'll be back because we've got a lot of fun stuff, and I've got a guest coming up in a bit. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
Radio advertising works. When it's done right, it works even better. There are many things you can do to get a better response, and shouting sale really isn't the best thing, believe it or not. Did you know that when you put words to music, they're 9 times more memorable? If you're trying to get people to remember your company, consider a jingle. We work with one of the very best jingle companies in the business, and we'd love to use music to help you grow your company. Learn more and hear examples at RadioReallyWorks.com. That's RadioReallyWorks.com. Thank you so much for joining us today. We've got a special guest that's going to be giving us some ideas. I know there's a lot of people that just had the big holiday the other day, and there's another big holiday coming up this weekend. So a lot of people entertaining this time of year. And if you want to impress people, oh boy, are you lucky today, because we have Donatella Arpaia from Iron Chef America from Food Network joining us right now. Donatella, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Fantastic. Now, if you're having company, you're having people over, and you want to impress them, you don't want to just put out a bag of chips and some dip, do you? You want to do it right.
Not at my house. That's not allowed.
And not that chips and dip are bad, but if you want to impress people, what are some really fun things that people can do to make sure when the friends and family come over that they impress them, and when they leave, they go, "Wow, that was a great party."
Yeah, that's a great question. I think that it's good to start thinking out of the box. Get out of that chips and dip rut rut, and vegetables are a great way to do that. One of my favorite recipes that I just created for the holiday is my crostini with sweet peas mashed with mint and tarragon. It's the perfect bite. It's the perfect appetizer. I mean, everyone's still recovering from their holiday meals, so starting with something light, introducing variety is a great way to entertain in a special way.
Very good. And, having some vegetables as options, that's a really good idea, because that's something that most people, even if you're not a vegetarian, you probably still like vegetables, right?
Yeah, I am not a vegetarian, but I grew up in a Mediterranean home, and vegetables are a big part, and variety of vegetables. And actually, that's why I'm excited to be partnering with Libby's to introduce their brand new vegetable pouches. It's an industry first, and they're these microwavable vegetable pouches. They're farm-fresh vegetables made in the USA, and they come in a variety of different choices: sweet peas, cut greens, sliced carrots, sweet corn, and mixed vegetables. And if you have that in your cupboard, all of a sudden you can easily take those vegetables and make really different fun sides.
Nice.
Appetizers, fun mains. It's fun.
Now, as an expert in the kitchen, you've got a lot of ideas on some quick yet delicious recipes to please a hungry crowd. What are some fun things that you can do if, you got a group of people coming over, whether it's for, a New Year's celebration, or I know there are a lot of people still having holiday celebrations and get-togethers when you've got a bunch of different family members. You can't do it all in one day. So what are some tips that you have to maybe speed up the process and make it quicker, but still make it delicious too?
You really have to get organized and plan ahead. I know it sounds boring, but the key to most chefs and how we get food on the table in a synchronized way is to be organized. So the more lists you have, the more organized, the more prep you do ahead of time with some and making an easy vinaigrette. I've introduced blood orange and green bean salad with a blood orange vinaigrette. If you prepped it ahead of time, that's great. And speaking of just coming after Christmas, I'm sure you have some leftovers. You could do a lot with leftovers. One dish that I love to make, and that's always a crowd pleaser, and it's very rustic and hearty, is my mixed vegetable fried rice. You can add any of your leftovers in there, but just with ginger and scallions, using fresh herbs and spices instead of constantly looking at fat and creams is a great way to introduce variety, taste. It tempts the palate. It's great.
Again, our guest today is celebrity chef and head judge from Food Network's Iron Chef America, Donatella Arpaia. Now, Donatella, how long have you been a chef? How long have you been doing this?
Oh, you're aging me. I would say about 15 years now. In the industry, a very long time.
But that's really cool. And I can tell that you love what you do, which is something that, to me, that's fascinating to find. There are people out there, can you believe this? There are people that go to work every day and hate what they do. Wouldn't that be awful?
Trust me, I was a former attorney, and I quit after 3 months to go into the field that I love. So food is a part of my life. Family time is a part of my life. And the holiday season right now, it's all about bringing people together and eating great food. And I'd love to teach people how to do it in an easy, fun way.
That is awesome. And I love you were talking about something a little bit ago, the bags from Libby's, the thing that you use for making vegetables. Tell me a little more about that. How does that work?
Yeah, I'm obsessed with them. This is a new product they're just launching. Libby's is a brand that's been around forever. It's very well trusted. They are farm-fresh vegetables. They're microwavable pouches, and in under 60 seconds, you have hot farm-fresh vegetables at the table, and you can serve them by themselves, or you can use them in a variety of ways. And I think at the end of the day, the reason why we don't have good-tasting food at our table is because we're time-crunched. And here's a great solution to help the time-crunched, time-pressed mom, dad, and if you go to the website, getbacktothetable.com, I've created amazing recipes using these pouches, and you can have a lot of variety and a lot of fun with it. And I promise you, in under 5 minutes, you can make all these recipes.
What was the website again?
Getbacktothetable.com.
All right. And I'm going to I'll be sure to throw a link to that on our Facebook page as well to make it really, really easy. Again, Donatella Arpaia has been our guest today. Donatella, thank you so much.
Thank you. Have a great day.
You do the same, and have a Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
Again, celebrity chef, head judge from Food Network's Iron Chef America, Donatella Arpaia right there, and getbacktothetable.com. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
When is the last time you changed the air filter on your furnace? Now, don't be embarrassed. That happens to a bunch of us. The furnace filter should be changed often. This will help your heating and cooling system run more efficiently, and it'll even extend the life of your system. Now, there's an easy way to make it happen. Filter Easy, a new subscription service that delivers your size filter right to your door on the schedule you choose. It's easy. Filter Easy. One less thing to worry about. Learn about a special offer available now at radiosavings.com.
John and Heidi.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
T.S. Eliot's favorite gift to give critics was exploding cigars. So somebody would be critical of his writing. So he would send them a box of cigars that had little...
Why would you, first of all, accept a box of cigars, a box of anything from someone that you just criticized?
I don't know. I just think it's really funny. I thought your book was awful. Well, thank you for reading the book. Here, a little appreciation to you.
Yeah, I can't imagine anybody actually falling for it. Who would light something that someone sent them in the mail after you just criticized them?
I don't know. Hey, fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
Donald Duck had a sister. What's Donald... Well, probably still does. What's Donald Duck's sister's name? Do you know?
Daisy.
No, it's Dumbella.
Oh.
Yeah, Daisy was his girlfriend.
Daisy was his girlfriend.
Fun fact for you, Heidi.
What's that, John?
The Pilgrims refused to eat lobsters. You know why?
Because they thought they were like rats.
They thought they were
from the
giant
ocean.
insects. They thought they were really big bugs. So they're like, nah, not really that, not appetizing. Thanks anyway. Coming up, we got some more fun stuff for you. A couple of fun facts right there on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This is Richard Lustig, the world's first and only 7-time lottery game grand prize winner. Since I endorsed Lottolicious, I have won something every single draw. They do all the work. You don't have to worry about running to the store to buy your tickets. They take care of all that. So if you're looking for the best way to play the lottery, to give yourself the best chance of winning, go to radiolottopool.com and join today. Again, that website is radiolottopool.com.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. According to a study by David Strayer, a psychology professor at the University of Utah, he says it could be cell phones that are causing traffic congestion. I have to agree on some of this.
I have seen it many times.
Me too.
When you're at a red light and the light turns green, the person up front is on their stupid phone.
Don't do that, people. Put the phones down.
They won't move.
On average, drivers talking on a cell phone drive 2 miles slower than non-cell phone talking drivers. I don't have that problem. I go too fast. David says, the distracted driver tends to drive slower and have delayed reactions. The people kind of get stuck behind that person, and it makes everybody pay the price of that distracted driver. David goes on to say, drivers using cell phones add about 20 hours a year to American commuters' trips. Here's where I have the problem, is what Heidi was just talking about. When the light turns red and, you stop, and then people think, oh, hey,
perfect
I've got
time to check my phone.
To do a status update, or maybe do a selfie, or to do a whatever. No. When you're behind the wheel, you leave that phone down. Don't be dinking around with that.
Oh, my God. Mr. High and Mighty.
Hey, am I on there doing status updates or checking emails or any of that? No. I'll make phone calls.
So you've not checked your email driving down the
No.
road? John,
I have
you
not.
are lying.
I'm not lying. I've handed my phone to you and said, hey, I just got an email. Can you see what that is? Have I ever done that? That's what I do. I hand it to you. And then you complain because my phone is hard to use.
You're absolutely lying. I have seen you do it, and I take it from you. And I say, don't do that while you're driving.
Don't think that's quite how it goes down, but we'll go with that.
Oh, my gosh.
Either way, okay, so if I'm doing it, John, you need to quit doing it too. It's a bad idea. And I don't like honking my horn, but I've had to honk my horn because there are people in front of me. The light turns green, and they're up there. You can see the glow of the phone. And then you honk the horn, they kind of wave, oh, thanks, and then they drive off. And I'm like, would you just
And then
put
now
the dumb
you're stuck at a
phone
red
down?
light again.
Yeah, and I'm like, now I get to sit here again.
Yeah.
Thank you. I'm glad I got that off my chest. Thanks for listening. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.
John and Heidi.
This is my favorite time of year. The lights, the fun parties, and the family get-togethers. Many of us have boxes of home videos capturing these memories. But sadly, these memories are fading away because the videotape was not the best format. My friend CJ has a business called Tape It Up Reproductions. They transfer your precious memories to a digital format with the option to enhance the audio and the video to make them look and sound better than ever. His website is tapingitup.com, or you can call or text 412-766-1679.
John and Heidi.
People who complain they have no time to exercise might need to come up with another excuse. Experts say intense exercise sessions could help people squeeze in an entire week's worth of workouts in less than 1 hour, Heidi. Intense exercise regimens, or what they refer to as interval training, was originally developed for Olympic athletes and thought to be too strenuous for, normal mere mortals like us. But in recent years, studies in older people who have health problems suggest that many more people might actually be able to handle it. If true, that could revolutionize how officials advise people to exercise, and it could save people millions of hours in the gym every single week. So there you go.
That's pretty cool. But it depends on how strenuous it is. I don't know. I don't know that I could do it.
I don't know. Well,
I don't know. We'll have to see what one of those workouts looks like and see if we can do it.
We just joined the gym, and we're going to have to start doing that because, we're trying to get ahead of the whole resolution thing. And so we've got our membership. We
do.
Haven't
We
been
did
there
that
yet,
much.
we got the first step. They say the first step is the hardest one. Coming up, we're going to talk about a judge and something that I think is really cool. It's on the way.
John and Heidi.
Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show. Every once in a while, we'll read a story about a judge and a decision made by a judge that just makes Heidi want to, scream and say things that I have to bleep on the radio. But I think you're going to like what this judge had to say.
Okay.
A district court, a judge in Ohio, has upheld the constitutionality of having the national motto, "In God We Trust," on U.S. currency. Somebody was trying to say, hey, you can't have that on there. It's unconstitutional.
Whatever. They've tried that forever, and that's not coming off, hopefully,
Judge
ever.
Benita Y. Pearson of the Northern District of Ohio rejected an effort by a group of plaintiffs to strike the motto from American money under the Federal Religious Freedom Restoration Act. In a ruling issued on Wednesday, so I think this is like 2 weeks ago, Judge Pearson reasoned that the RFRA was not applicable because the plaintiffs could not demonstrate that the use of the motto on the currency substantially burdened their religious exercises. So we're saying, okay, because it says that, how does that offend you? How does that affect you?
Right, it doesn't.
So it doesn't. You can still use that to buy things, and I just think there's a lot of people that are freaking out over the stupidest little things. And this is something that's been there for a long time. And it's never really affected your ability to utilize that money in the past. And I think that it's cool. So as a Christian, I'm glad that it's there. But even if I were not a Christian, I would still be glad that it's there. Because I think that, our country was founded on these principles. And
I think there needs to be very, very, very severe punishments for frivolous lawsuits.
That'd be cool.
For people going out of their way just to be jerks. That's not what I was going to say, but I am on the radio.
I am so proud of you, Heidi.
Thank you.
The restraint that you
but
just
I think
proved
that,
that you could
that
do
a
there.
frivolous lawsuit should contain prison time. I think you should have to. Yep.
Why not execution? Come on.
Well, I would go that far,
No, you
but I think some people would say that was a bit harsh.
I would say that would be a bit harsh.
I think it absolutely should. And they should have to pay the attorney fees of whatever it costs to defend it, whether it's the government that had to pay for this lawsuit or if it's an individual person. Whoever brought that lawsuit about should have to pay all court costs.
There you go. You heard it
if
here
it is
first.
unfounded and frivolous, because
Heidi,
this is ridiculous.
Heidi's the one that came up with that idea, so we'll call it the Heidi Act.
I love that.
All right. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This time of year, we celebrate with family and friends.
And sometimes that involves drinking.
If you're going to be celebrating, please have a designated driver.
I lost my cousins to a drunk driver. They were only 8 and 12 years old.
Their lives were cut short because the driver was drunk and made a terrible choice.
Make good choices. Have a designated driver.
If you or a loved one has a problem with drugs or alcohol, now may be a great time for the gift of sobriety.
You can call Keystone Treatment Center at 844-204-1055.
That's toll-free
free. 844-204-1055.
John and Heidi.
Scientists say the Earth is becoming more like Saturn, and some astronomers say the Earth is developing rings like the planet Saturn. The discovery has both astronomers and theologians scratching their noggins, Heidi. Some, I don't even know what I've ever heard of this, astrophysicists, I think I said that right, hopefully. I spelled it out. I phonetically worked that out, and I think that's what it is. They believe the rings may be a byproduct of global warming, but some religious experts say the ring could be a sign of the second coming of Christ. So there you go.
Is that in the Bible that there's going to be rings around the planet?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. I wonder where they're coming up with that theory.
Ring around the planet?
Huh.
I don't know. I was going to try to do a little joke there, but you caught me off guard. I'm not on my game right now. All right. Yeah, I had no clue that was a thing, but apparently it is. Coming up, we got some more fun stuff. Thanks for listening to The John and Heidi Show.
John and Heidi.
This portion of The John and Heidi Show is brought to you by The John and Heidi Show. That sounds kind of funny, but it's true. Go to your local radio station and ask them to start carrying The John and Heidi Show. Here's the best part. They can carry the show for free. They play a couple commercials, but it doesn't cost them anything every month. So if you know a radio station that could use a little bit of help, send them our way. Send them to johnandheidishow.com. Again, johnandheidishow.com. We would love to do a radio program in your community. Then you could listen to the podcast and listen to us on the radio.
John and Heidi.
Thank you so much for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday. We always try to wrap things up around here with some good news, and I think this is pretty darn good news. Dallas Cowboy fans have been putting their faith in rookie quarterback Dak Prescott, but Prescott is now putting his faith in Christ. Listen to this. Recent photo on Twitter showed him surrounded by 6 people holding hands in deep prayer. Meanwhile, they say he's also been open about his faith in the past. In 2014, in the Shreveport Times, he said there were inspiring messages that he had written on his wristbands before the games. He said, I simply write faith on there for the faith that my mom showed me and the relationship we built from the faith that we had and the faith in my God. So he just wrote faith on his wristbands before the games, and I think that's pretty darn cool.
I don't know what difference any of this makes. Why do they have to make such a big deal out of people practicing the Christian faith? Why is it an issue?
There's nobody complaining. I'm saying that this is good news.
Look what happened to Tebow. I mean, I think that they're trying to turn it into a witch hunt by even bringing it up. It shouldn't have anything to do with anything.
Well,
is he doing well? Is he playing the game? Leave him alone.
He's doing well. He's a Dallas Cowboy.
His faith is a personal thing.
It is, and I think that it's cool that he's able to go on the field and he's able to play. He's able to do his thing, and I think that it's awesome. The number of Christians that do watch that particular sport, football. I've been told that's kind of a popular sport these days. You'd never know it at our household. We don't really watch football. It's funny because I remember one year we were asking, so who's in the Super Bowl? Everybody else knew what was going on. We had no clue. Like, what's next week? And it's these guys. We're like, oh, really? It's kind of a big game, isn't it? Maybe we'll tune in for that one. So, but I think it's really cool. So, again, just kind of a neat thing. So if you'd like to know more about that, I do have a link to that story at facebook.com/John and Heidi Show. Time to say goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, Heidi.
Goodbye, everybody. Have a great day. Thanks for listening to the John and Heidi Show on a Wednesday.